Welcome to the Seven Figure Jump, part of the iEntrepreneur Radio Network. We are so honored to be able to bring you your host, two-time recipient of the internationally coveted Presentainer Award, honored as one of the top 10 women in business to follow globally, as well as one of the top change coaches in the world. We are excited to bring you your host, Dr. Karen Perkins.
Hey, a little bit of double commercial probably there, but that's all right. This is Dr. Karen Perkins, and I am so excited for this week's show. Our guest today is somebody I have known for years, and he has been one of the best mentors I have ever had. And, you know, I want to bring Robert on, our man behind the scenes, because we love to hear from Robert and what's going on there, and to give him a shout out because of all the great things he does. Robert, you got a few minutes for us?
Yeah, hi, good morning. I'm excited for the show today. I was able to sneak in and see who Dave was just a little bit. I went online and I thought, wow, I am so excited to hear the show today.
I tell you, he's the man of the man of the man. He is just one phenomenal guy and has taught me a lot. As are you. Now, I'm really excited because you and I have put together a package that people can get that's going to include all of your wonderful marketing background with networking and all of those things, magazines, being on, commercials for the radio shows, all kinds of great stuff. And hey, I'm going to do coaching. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So, you guys want to hear more about that. Reach out to Robert hey, Robert, you want to type the email they can reach out to you at, or Sean?
Yeah, let's put this in the comments. We can reach out to me at 480, I'll even do it in real time here, 0088. That is my telephone number. And what's really great is we're combining magazine, radio shows, our training academy, networking, even in our book with Karen's group coaching. So we really have an outstanding package for members and the public to take advantage of.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. And hey, talking about the book, boy, we're just coming along with that book, aren't we? We have some pages left that people can get in so that they can really share that inspiration with the world, in addition to, well, hey, get more clients, improve their search engine optimization, and be at the top of the top, not to mention a #1 bestseller, either for the first time or again. And either way, it's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I say is if you've been an offer, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, who doesn't want to be a best-selling offer a 4th time? So, I think that this is a great way to reach out and be seen again in the public, but also be seen in the community. What we decided is, you and I, Dr. Karen, is we talked about COVID and how it really put a pause on about 6 months of this year. And now everyone's looking at the 4th quarter. They want to finish strong. And what better way than to give your thought, your quote, and your question to other entrepreneurs just like you who are searching for messages of hope and inspiration and support.
Yeah, I love that. Now, Robert, can you scroll your phone number or your email address across the bottom of the screen? I know I've asked you to do things maybe I shouldn't there. There you go. So 365networkingquotes.com. You can go there to go ahead and get your page. And if you want a holiday page, there's some of those holiday pages still left. And so we love those, don't we, Robert?
We do. And actually, we're really starting to fill out our calendar. So on the website, there's a place where it says pick your page. So when you click on it, it will show the calendar. The days that are filled in with blue, those are days that are already taken. And, we're really starting to go viral now. We have over 100 pages taken. There's only 365 days in the year, but we've only done this for 3 weeks. So we really see a lot of people coming in and getting into this book. And again, it's going to be in a hardback form, a paperback form, digital, and it's also going to go through our subscriber list, which right now currently is over 20,000 people, along with our other partners in our network. So we're excited about that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. Well, tell me real quick before we do the straight talk with Karen and bring on our awesome guest, what are some other things going on in your world and things that people should know about?
Well, I don't get to talk about this too much, but a little bit, after this program, about an hour and a half later, we have our Real Estate and Investing Academy with Stuart Geffner and Melanie Compton. It's about an hour long. We've talked about such things as subject to buying. We've talked about how to negotiate great contracts, and even how to find, even in this crazy environment right now in the Phoenix marketplace, the Arizona marketplace, and even also in Nevada, how there's limited supplies of houses. You can still find gems to invest in. And so we're excited about that. And today we have Eddie Borio. And what's really crazy about Eddie Borio coming in today, he is actually a former rocket scientist. He worked for NASA, and he created a software where people can buy $500 blocks of real estate investments. So that's today. On Thursday, I'm going to be on a panel with a couple of inspirational people, Jill Lublin and also Donna Mitter. We're going to be both live, and that's going to be at 11 a.m. And you can go to ntevents.net to get more information on how to reserve your space through our Zoom network.
Is that 11 a.m. Pacific time, Arizona time?
I love how you do that. Yes, 11 a.m. Right now we're on Pacific time, I believe.
Yeah. So that will be 1 Eastern time. So everybody, 1 Eastern time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, which will be, actually, it's not, it's 2. So 11 there, 12 here, 2 Eastern time. See, I have to calculate in my head. 2 Eastern time. So you'll want to be there. And is that when your radio show is on Thursdays too?
No, it's not. But I do have a radio show on Thursday from 2:30 to 3:30 called the iNetrepreneur Radio Show. And it's on our iNetworkpreneur network, where I interview 3 members. And we're going to be talking all about finance this week. And that's one of the shows that really a lot of people come on to, because right now a lot of people are struggling, and they need to learn better, do better, to get better. And I'm really excited about having that on this week. And it's on this channel. So subscribe to this channel.
Subscribe to this channel.
Yeah, subscribe to this channel. Let me put that up there. So here is our channel. It is youtube.com /iNetrepreneur Radio. So again, YouTube /iNetrepreneur Radio. And you can see myself and Dr. Karen Perkins each week.
Yeah.
Right here.
And Thursdays, it's 2:30 to 3:30 Pacific time, and then 5:30 to 6:30 Eastern time. And the show here on Tuesday is at 9 a.m. Pacific time and noon Eastern time. And so we have a lot of fun. So yeah, join us on both shows and the additional shows that are coming up.
And I want to say thank you before we go to Straight Talk. I just want to say thank you. I get so protective of our Arizona time zone, but you've really opened up my world that there's so much more than Arizona. So I want to thank you for that. Oh my gosh. Well, let's get to our Straight Talk. And I don't know if you'll be talking about time zones, but I'm sure there's going to be some great nuggets to learn about in your Straight Talk. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. Okay, my Straight Talk today is really reaching out and finding great mentors, because it's with mentors that you grow and you gain more knowledge and inspiration, and you can go to that next level in life. And I am so lucky, because I have had so many mentors in life, and I'm always reaching out to find a new mentor. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever have a coach or mentor that does not have their own coach or mentor, run. Because if they believe that they are all that in a bag of jelly beans and need nobody else to help them learn or to inspire them to continue, they're not somebody you should be working with. And I say that with all honesty and with integrity. That being said, my Straight Talk again today is find a phenomenal mentor. And as you get these mentors, write down the nuggets of information that they give you. Write down quotes that they have. People are always laughing about quotes that I give, because I say, well, one of my favorite mentors said, but I'll tell you what, those quotes have been inspirational to me and to hundreds of thousands around the world. So my Straight Talk, get a great mentor and have them as part of your life. And when you outgrow them, find another mentor. And sometimes you'll be the mentor to your mentor at another time. That is a Straight Talk with Dr. K today. Let's go ahead and go to our commercial break and then come back with the best guests that I just absolutely love and adore.
Network together. It's all about connections. Expand your sphere of influence. Build relationships. Be part of something bigger. Be part of Network Together.
Mark Walker is the business builder. Since he sold his first company for 7 figures at the age of 23, Mark has been helping entrepreneurs succeed in building their dreams with strategies made simple. With him, you'll master a towering presence, execute skilled business moves. Most important, you'll have the tools to win the game. Along with coaching, Mark offers over 300 videos and tutorials. His wisdom and guidance is a treasure. Schedule an appointment to discuss your business needs today at www.markwalker.online.
Meet Marty Barigian, a transformational energy connector, global energy healer, and abundance connector. Participate in energy healing and abundance. Attend a free session and experience the secrets behind your success. Register today to attend the Health and Abundance Healers Summit, October 13th through the 19th at the Westgate Hotel in Park City, Utah. For more information, text 801-949-4940.
Okay, well, I'm so excited for our sponsors, but let me tell you what. Nothing is more exciting than to get to talk to the guests that we have today. Now, a little bit about our guest today. I've known this gentleman for, going on 6-7 years now, and he has been one of the best mentors I've ever had. And this individual has had several companies that have taught people, taught thousands and thousands how to be millionaires and multimillionaires and get them to that level. And I have witnessed it firsthand. He is the man that can tell you about real estate. He can tell you about marketing. And in fact, he was one of the co-founders and the CEO of the world's most premier empire of speaking. And he has moved on to additional great things. And I'm excited to introduce to you today my good friend, my mentor, somebody I adore, Dave VanHoose. Let's bring him on. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how are you?
I'm so great. First, I want to thank you because I know you're taking time out of your busy schedule. You're at the hospital today. And so thank you for visiting with us on this network because you are a man that I just adore beyond words. And you're so great. Tell us what's going on in your world right now. I know that you are doing a lot of great things and helping people with their abundance, but tell me more about that.
Well, that's a very interesting question. I have a lot of different verticals. And one of the things I want to share with people today is really how to manifest abundance. And in fact, one of the verticals that I have, obviously, I own a company called the Entrepreneurship Agency, where we work with entrepreneurs. I teach them speaking and marketing and direct response marketing. So I have that vehicle over there. I have another vehicle called Franchise Innovations, where we franchise companies with that guy, Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. And then I own a medical center called Pure Life, where we do regenerative medicine to help people stay young and healthy. And then I have my other brand, which was with Marty, where we do energy and personal development empowerment. And then underneath all that, which is the most important, which is the nonprofit called Influence of Love, where we work with kids and help kids empower kids. So there's a lot of verticals in my life because one of the most important things to me is impact, is making a big impact, why I'm here to help and serve others.
Well, and I know that about you, and I've watched the impact that you have had on hundreds of thousands. I've watched you do franchising of businesses. I have firsthand witnessed your love and your charity and your spiritual growth, and you're helping people with their mental and physical and financial health. And I want you to take just a minute, though, and tell us more about this charity, because everybody needs to be involved in some charity, and your charity is one that I think they really need to look at and be involved with.
Well, I think one of the things I'll share with you, about 10 years ago, I had a vision to make a difference. So I started my first 501c3 nonprofit and spent 8 years building that and helping people. And then it was last year, I was writing out my goals, which we're going to talk about success, and that success leaves clues, and success is a system. And I'm writing out what I would like to create and manifest. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I want this. And I'm like, I stopped halfway through it, Karen. And I'm like, wait a minute. You're asking for all this stuff. What are you going to give back? And that's when I said, you know what, Dave? You've got to launch another nonprofit. I was in Medellin, Colombia, and got invited to come to an orphanage. I've never been to an orphanage before. And I was getting ready to go over there, and I'm thinking, well, what can I give? So I went to the store. A lot of these kids don't have shoes. They don't have shirts. And I meditated and prayed on it. Like, what should I bring? And you know what came up for me? Was love. These kids, and obviously we know about personal development, they don't feel any self-worth. They don't feel any love. So when I got there, I brought them some beautiful toys and gifts. They were all jumping on me, and they just wanted love and attention. So that's when I said, you know what? My next charity is going to be Influence of Love, to work with kids and to empower them. So,
go ahead.
I think everybody should have something greater than them that they would like to do on this planet. You can start your own nonprofit, or you can find one that you can support. But I think it's very important for everybody to have that in life.
Well, and I want to I want to support what you're saying and add to that. These orphanages, I did some work with some in Peru, and you're right. They don't have much. I remember the first time we were there, and we had dinner with them, and they ate in shifts because they had so many bowls, so many spoons, and so many glasses. The first shift would eat, go wash their bowl, spoon, and glass, and hand it to the next shift, who would eat, wash their bowl, spoon, and glass, and hand it to the next shift. And I just went, oh my goodness. And they didn't have anything, it was just their own, but they were all just come hug me, come love me. They were okay sharing the bowl, spoon, and glass, but they needed that extra love and attention. And I know one of the silly things that we did is we made them each a pillowcase, because when they went somewhere else, they had nothing to take with them. But this way, any little mementos they got, they had their own pillowcase. But with that pillowcase, we gave them all a letter of love. And that's what you're doing, is you're giving them love in their heart for them to carry on forever and ever. And children who get that love in their heart grow up to be adults who serve the world in the community and give love. So what you're doing is so honorable, so remarkable, and so fabulous. I just want you to know that you always inspire me, but again, having this charity is so inspirational, and I love you that you're doing these things and giving back to the world, because you, among all of us, understand the karma debt. You're going to receive, you got to give, and that's just the way it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know that you're involved in some other things, and these helping the entrepreneurs with franchising and things. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it's very interesting. I got a call from Kevin Harrington from that show Shark Tank. He's like, I want to talk to you. Invited me to come down to the hotel in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I sat with them, and they mapped out this whole formula about franchising and growing this. And it was interesting. That night we went out to dinner, and I just saw them having fun and all this. I go, I want to be a part of that, looking for a new challenge. So long story short, I got involved with franchising. And what's really nice about franchising is 8 out of 10 businesses fail. However, 8 out of 10 franchises succeed. So today, there's so many people that have lost their jobs, lost their careers. In fact, I read a statistic from Inc. magazine that said over 50% of businesses won't reopen from this whole crisis. So there's a lot of people that are going to be searching for a vehicle, an opportunity to make money. They can start their own business. It'll be very difficult to find a good job, or they can buy a franchise. And so we're supporting a lot of families, and I believe in entrepreneurship. It's like there's an energy of people out there that want to close businesses down. Well, my passion is to open businesses, to have prosperity, but more importantly, give the entrepreneur freedom. So that's a project that I've been working on.
I've had a lot of people tell me that, I've lost it all. There's no way to get it back. And I always smile because I think about you when I think of that. And I shouldn't say that maybe out loud. But Dave, you've been at the top and just kind of got kicked in the teeth, but went right back to the top. Would you take just a few minutes and share your story with us?
Well, I think one of the things that I want to put the message and the energy out is what I call pivot to profit or pivot to prosperity, right? Sometimes life we have tough lessons, and I've had a lot of different ups and downs and a lot of lessons. My first lesson is I grew up in Michigan, grew up in a very horrible situation. My father was an alcoholic. My parents got divorced, and I actually got held back from 3rd grade to 2nd grade. And I was diagnosed with dyslexia. So my whole beginning childhood, the programming and the conditioning wasn't very good. And predicting that I would probably meant out to be worthless, and I was just going to be another statistic. Long story short, I found my passion, my purpose, went to college, got my degree in sports medicine, and I found my passion, my purpose. And then I'm on top of the world, working things out, and then another crisis happens. I got injured playing sports. Long story short, I'm in the hospital, and the doctor says to me, "You've got a broken back, a partial fractured L5 and S1, and we got to cut your stomach open and put a rod in a cage and put a spinal fusion in my spine." I'll never forget waking up in that moment after surgery when I saw my mom crying over me, and I could hear the hospital sound. And in that split moment, I said, I can't feel my legs. And my whole life went through me right there. I'm like, what am I going to do? And long story short, how am I going to recover from this? And it was a very challenging time, Karen, because my identity, my ego is I was this athlete. I was this professional football trainer. And now I can't obviously do that. And so my mind went into that you're worthless. There's nothing left for you to do. So long story short, went through some challenging times. They put me on a lot of pain pills, a lot of medications, and I fought for half my life in pain. And then from there, I started a business and found my next passion, being an entrepreneur. And I took that company, Inc. 500. And again, I was on top of the world in another crisis. Crisis number 3 hits. 2008 hits, they shift, and from going from hero, I went to zero. And I was homeless and lost everything and had to go BK. And I don't mean Burger King, right? So I had another lesson. So then I started another company, a speaking training company, and start training all the top speakers in the world, become very, very successful and good at it. And then come back, a partner comes in, and literally I'm thrown out of my own company and have to start over. So I think, and I've been through 2 divorces. And so I've had a lot of ups and downs in life. And so I want to share with people some strategies and some techniques of really how to what I call master, and I use the game of life, and how literally life shouldn't be, it shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be this much stressful. It should be, we should have a good fun. And that's something I want us to consider.
I love that. And Dave, you just bounce. I love how you say you just pivot. And you pivot. And how many of us have forgotten to pivot? Instead, we get caught in that, oh, woe is me. What are some of the things that you do to help you pivot?
It's a good question. I think one of the most challenging pivots crisis is my physical body. And, one of the biggest things I want to suggest to people is really getting that morning miracle routine down. I always say, if you don't control the morning, you can't control the day. So starting that morning off is the key to my success, I think. So getting up, the very first thing that you've got to get into is gratitude, right? See, everybody wants to blame and create that poor little me or that story, but you got to jump out of that. And the best way to jump out of that is gratitude. You can look at your life of the glass half empty or half full, right? So you choose. And I use the word choose. You have a choice in that moment, in that morning, to choose. And so I choose gratitude. So the very first thing is I come up with at least 5 to 10 things I'm grateful for. Examples could be grateful for that I have electricity, grateful I have a bed, that we have water. Because a lot of people in this world, they don't have those. And we forget real quick of a lot of the great things that we have. So focus on that is number one. Number two is really getting that intention of what are your goals? What do you want to envision? What do you want? And it's very important to really get crystal clear of your intention, your goals. And then the third thing is you got to move your body. Body emotion equals emotion, right? So you've got to do something. You've got to go for a walk, go to the gym, do yoga, do meditation. And then the last thing, obviously, I said meditation, is you've got to work on the inward journey. True life isn't experiencing life through the outer eyes. It's going in the inner eyes that you really have the completion.
I tell you, you're the master at success. You're the master at helping others achieve success. And I think it's just really interesting that you have been at the top of your game, and outside things come in, but without a beat, you just jump back up to the top of your game. And you're always at the top of your game, even with those things that come in. And I tell you, my mic is driving me nuts. So as I'm trying to fix the mic, but it's just not liking me. Sorry about that, folks. But you're at the top of your game, and you do it quickly. What's one of the things that you think hold other people back from getting to the top of their game? I love the things you just gave us with owning your morning and those things. But what would you say is the number one thing that keeps people from success?
Step number one is you got to take 100% responsibility for your life. See, most people have a blame game, and they could be blaming their parents, blaming their boss, or even blaming their genes, or whatever. And so until you take 100% responsibility for your life, then you can't control your destiny. You can't control your life. So I always look at, how did I create this? How did I bring this into my life? How am I responsible for everything that happens to me? And that gives you power, because when you take responsibility, then you can make a shift. If you blame it on something outside of you, you can never change, and you can continue to create that same story and continue that same life. So that's step number one, I think, for success.
And what are some things that you have done, or you've helped or mentored or trained other people to do to take that responsibility?
Well, I think step number one in change is awareness. Most people probably are not even aware that everything that comes to them is from them. Quantum physics and science have really come to the conclusion that The outer world is a reflection of your inner world. So if you want to change your outer world, that means you got to change your inner world. So whatever you put out is what you get back, right?
Yep.
And so you got to really look at, how are you bringing these things into your life? And, there's really three things that we can really hold responsibility for. Number one, the thoughts that we think. Number two, the people we hang out with. And number three, the actions that we choose to take. Those three things control our life and our destiny. And, those are our choice. And we have a choice.
I love how you say you've got to become aware. And sometimes we are blissfully ignorant. And can I share a quick story?
You can, absolutely.
So I am at a coaching event, a one-on-one coaching event with Dave, and we're going over some things that are really important to me. And halfway through, he just stops and he says, and he never swears, so he didn't say the way I'm going to say it, but he said, "What is wrong with you? There is no reason you should be where you're at. You've got to do this. Do you like this? Do you like that?" And bless his heart, I was just a little taken back because he just kind of pointed out all these things I was kind of aware of, but blissfully unaware of, because I think I chose not to be. But as a mentor and a coach, he loved me enough to say, "Karen, you're standing in your own way." And that was something that I had to really work on. In fact, I still work on it. I think a lot of us stand in our own way. And though we become aware of these things, we've got to do the other two things, and we've got to change our thoughts and change our actions so that we can change what we're giving out to the world so that we can bring more in. So, Dave, you have been so pivotal and inspirational in my life. I know the pivots I've made for success. Really, you are right there at the top of the reason I was able to make those pivots. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Do you remember that event? He's
yeah,
like,
of
"Yeah, I
course.
do, very clearly."
Well, I think what happens to me occurs is that thing of what they call in NLP scotomas. People can't see their blind spots. They can't see what's going on. Somehow God has created some very gifted people that can kind of feel and see what's really going on. And for me, we have an echo now.
Fix that.
Is it fixed now? Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, that fixes it. So I think, as you were talking, I have developed over these years, I use the word develop, that there's two operating systems. You've got the ego or your higher self, right? Or your Christ consciousness or your soul, whatever you want to say. And when you're in your higher self or that Christ consciousness, you can know truth or untruth. And when people are talking to me and when they get into that storytelling or that untruth, I can feel it, I can hear it, and I can see it. And so it's that ability to know when somebody's actually speaking truth to themselves and not. And that's kind of a little indication, because what's very interesting, I just purchased this amazing device for one of my clients that there's a big thing out with the radiation from the 5G towers and the ether. So I've got this amazing machine that protects me from the 5Gs, keeps my space very important in my energies. But she has this device where you can talk into this computer and your voice is naked and you can pick up the patterns. And this machine will actually create a way to reprogram your mind. What's interesting, because I have that same ability through my ear, I can hear people's patterns and I can hear and feel what's going on. And then obviously with love, honesty, and respect, there's a variety of tools and strategies to assist that person to step out of their self-sabotage, their self-limiting beliefs, or their stories that have locked them down. And when you find your truth, you can pull those things out, and then that person will have success.
Now, I do want to clarify that Dave had for several years very lovingly tried to help me see that I was living in a story. And so he did have to get a little blunt with me, and that he did out of love. He didn't just jump in and attack me because Dave doesn't attack anybody ever. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear. So uh, now tell me, is this item that you just purchased, is it going to be one of the franchises that you're running or helping people franchise?
No, this device here, obviously being one of the top speaker coaches, in the world, I get to work with a lot of amazing people that come to me. And I met this beautiful spiritual person. And I said, what do you do? And she went into, I do quantum sound therapy. And I go, I have no idea what you do. So long story short, I got an opportunity to work with her and help her. I helped her get her message out to the world. I helped change her strategy in her business. And because of that, she gifted me one of her beautiful machines. So now I have a beautiful sacred space that's very, very nice. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Now, you and I were at an event that you actually pretty much sponsored, 3 weeks or so ago in Las Vegas with a wonderful woman who does a lot of this energy healing work. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, like I suggested, I've struggled in pain almost every single day of my life, and it's very challenging. And I've always wanted to step out of physical pain. And I've tried every single modality, every single thing that I've been able to do. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I decided to invest into a clinic called Pure Life. And what Pure Life is we are a regenerative medicine center, which means regenerative medicine means to restore, to create new, and to build. Because I've tried the symptom-based American medicine, didn't work. So long story short, with regenerative medicine, it was absolutely incredible, assisted me to remove pain. And then I met a spiritual person, Marty, and I went to her, and any pain that I had left has been completely gone. So what I would love to suggest to anybody that is in any physical or emotional pain, that there is a solution and there is a way, and to never give up. And that's one of the things that I always kept in the back of my mind, that one day I'd be able to walk again or run again pain-free. And I'm in that moment now. In fact, it's so interesting, Karen, that I keep waking up because my mind has been used to being in pain every day for 20 years, that I forget what it's like to not be in pain. So it's interesting that when you break that cycle, that the brain will try to put you back into that misery and that suffering and that pain. But working with Marty, working with somebody to clear the subconscious patterns, to clear the energies at a cellular level is very important.
Well, now I know Marty has an event coming up, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But if people wanted to get more involved with your clinic, how would they go about doing that?
Well, our clinic is in Tampa, Florida. We have people that fly from all around the world into our clinic. And our clinic is called Pure Life, Purlife, Pure Life Medical Center in Tampa. And we have a variety of absolutely incredible things here, because what we've done is we took regenerative medicine with amazing technology and put it together. We have the most incredible technology machines that I've ever seen. We have a thing called microcurrent, where your body is electrical based, and on a cellular level can turn back on the damaged cells, which is incredible therapy. We had a 78-year-old woman who couldn't walk with a cane, and one treatment later with the microcurrent, she actually left her cane here. I got to give her cane back. It's been 3 months, and she has no problem walking. So we see a lot of that. We have this thing called Pure Sound, where they shoot sound waves into your body, which causes micro damage, which stimulates your body to send stem cells and to heal your body. A very amazing technique. Plus, we have stem cell therapy, peptide therapy, and we've had all kinds of different amazing therapies that we do, because we don't go after the symptom, we go after the cause, and we do it that we believe the body can heal itself. So that's a little bit about my medical center.
Well, and tell me again, it's Pure Life Medical?
Pure Life Medical in Tampa, Florida.
And I'm writing this down so I remember later, so I make sure I repeat it right. Tampa, Florida. You know what? And I have to attest to the body can heal itself. One of my clients I'm working with right now we started while she was in the middle of chemo, and she just said, I don't want to take chemo anymore. So we worked together a little bit. She quit halfway through chemo. She says, I know my brain can fix this. Halfway through, she had to have surgery anyway, and so she had the surgery earlier. 100% cancer free. Her doctor says, I've seen this happen twice in my long career, and you're the second person. And he said, it's all up here. And she says, I know. No radiation, no more chemo. She only did a few chemo treatments that made her so sick. And so I'm going to tell you, it is up here that we can heal ourselves. It's the body can heal, but we have to believe it, and we have to incorporate it and to do the things that are necessary. And you've got the equipment, things that's necessary to help do the healing as well. So everybody, Pure Life Medical in Tampa, Florida, look it up and contact Dave and go in and do some stuff.
Yeah.
Now, with the mind, we've got Marty. She's got an event coming up here not far from me, and she's going to be in Park City, Utah, the 13th through the 19th. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, as you know, Karen, I've been very blessed because I've been considered one of the top speaker training coaches on the planet. I get a very gifted opportunity to meet the best of the best of the best in the world.
Yes.
At every different subject. So when people come to me and they have a challenge, then I can direct them to the best of whatever they need on the planet. So I met Marty, and I've never seen anything like her before. But she has the ability to change energies on a cellular level, on a micro level, because most people don't know that most people are struggling with traumas. We've had a lot of traumas growing up and are younger, and all these traumas and all these upsets are stored in the body and in the brain.
Yeah.
So very few people have the ability to go on a cellular level to really make that change. And in fact, with me, my spine, I was in so much back pain, back surgery, pain pills, and I even put stem cells and everything. It wasn't until Marty had the ability to, on a energetic level, take out each disc in your spine, because she suggests that a lot of trauma is stored in our spine, in the disc, and clear the level. And by doing that, my back pain went away. So obviously, no matter how many doctors and no matter how many things I would have done, the cause was emotional trauma, emotional pain. And so for me, majority of disease and majority of pains is emotional trauma stored in the body. And so until you clear that, then even if you take radiation or take pain pills, whatever, it's going to continue to manifest. So let's go after the cause of the problem and not try to symptom base it.
And I love energy work because for me, when I talk about emotions, I say it's energy in motion. It's energy in motion. And when you can clean that energy, it does change your emotions, but it does change your physical body as well. Now, are you going to be at this event on the 13th through the 19th?
Yeah, absolutely. Marty, actually hasn't done personal therapy work for over 10 years. She was retired. She was called by a higher power to come back into work. And so we are working with people, helping them. So we're going to be doing private sessions with people to help clear emotional traumas and pain and suffering, a variety of different things in a nutshell. So we're going to be there in Utah. I'm excited to get a chance to experience Utah in October. And obviously help a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of suffering, and that we want to provide help and value to them.
Okay, now I want to point out, everybody listening, Park City is basically the home of the 2002 Winter Olympics. Gorgeous, and in the fall, colors are changing. It is beautiful. But Dave and Marty are going to be there. Marty's going to do a couple of free training sessions, help people out and learn about those things. And Dave will be there, so you can kind of network with Dave, because if you're going to hobnob, you want to hobnob with the best of the best who know the best of the best. And we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be really great. I want to make sure I hit two things again, Dave. Pure Life Medical in Tampa, Florida.
Yep.
That is one of those things you got to do. And then come to Marty's event. It's going to be at the Westgate in Park City, Utah. You don't have to be there the entire time, but I strongly suggest you come in on the 13th and stay at least through the 18th. And it's going to be great. Tell me about your entrepreneur stuff, though. How do they contact you if they want to improve their finances from an entrepreneur standpoint or from a speaking standpoint? Because you are the premier speaker coach, speaker trainer, speaker influencer. I mean, you're it. When it comes to speaking, nobody knows the industry more than you do.
Yeah, that's true. I think if anybody's looking to get into the speaking training business, as you know, I'm booked up and packed. And however, if somebody really has a message in them that they want to get out to the world, and make that happen there, because
Oh, it looks like we may have lost Dave.
yeah.
And it may be on my end. Robert, is Dave still on your end?
Hi there. It looks like we're having a little bit of connectivity issues there.
Okay.
You know, what we can do is get the
Let's
information from Dave and then post it into the comments room, and I will send that out for everyone.
All right, I think that's great. Let's go ahead and let Dave get back to the hospital.
Okay.
And then you and I can wrap up what he was saying. Sorry about that, folks. We lost him. He has some problems with the connection, as you could hear as the mics were popping. But Dave VanHoose, I got to tell you one more quick story about Dave VanHoose. My husband is very analytical and plans things way in advance after he has analyzed it to death. Me, I'm more of a spur of a moment. If it feels good, I'm going to do it. Well, I had to do some calls and it was meetings, and Dave was going to be on he was on a summit, and I wanted to hear him. I didn't know a whole lot about him other than he was the best of the best. So I said, Darwin, go listen to him, take notes, do what you need to do, because I want to know what's going on with him. And I'm in the middle of a call, and Darwin comes in and says, hang up. And I'm like, okay. And he says, we're going to Tampa. And I said, okay, when? We got a flight for early tomorrow morning. I said, excuse me? Darwin doesn't do that. So Dave was having a speaking event that started actually the next morning, but by the time we flew there, we missed the bulk of the first day. But we flew there, and you know what? We've been part of Dave's family ever since. But it was one of those things. He changes lives. And so you're going to want to work with him, if it's in speaking, if it's in being an entrepreneur, if it's in the energy work, if it's in the clinic with the health work with the stems and all of those things. And definitely get involved in a charity, and his charity is a phenomenal one. That said, Robert, what did you feel about the conversation today? Dave had a lot of great nuggets, don't you think?
Well, he has so many nuggets in so many different ways, and he has so many verticals that he works within, but it just goes to show, you know, what the mind can do. But what I really loved about what he says is, you know, he actually talked about everything that's out there starts within here, everything. And, you know, total 100% responsibility is, you know, what is the difference between the great entrepreneurs and business owners and those that aren't. They don't blame anyone else. They take it on themselves and they learn from it. And if they have to go on, they go on. And if they have to go back and fix it, they fix it. But I really appreciate what Dave talked about in that manner.
Well, and one thing I want to point out is early on, I knew I was the one holding me back, and I would openly say, I know I'm the one that's in my way. I just don't know why or how. In fact, I still say that sometimes, and I don't know why or how, but that's not taking full responsibility. If I don't know why or how, I need to seek out a mentor that can see it from the outside and say, Karen, this is how. I don't know why, but this is how. And now I can go in and do the I can think about it and say, okay, what do I need to do differently? And these coaches and mentors also give you some steps to do things differently. Dave gave us 3 steps in 4 different categories. I mean, oh my gosh, they're all phenomenal.
And what's really great is, he's had, like a spiritual pain, a mental pain, a physical pain. And, instead of like letting that pain be the boundary, the hurdle, the ceiling, the border, whatever, he decided he was good. I can tell, and he didn't really talk about this, Dr. Karen, but I can tell what he did was instead of letting it beat him, he wanted to become a master of spirituality, a master of becoming, smarter and braver in the mind, a master of healing thyself and his physicality, which caused him great pain trauma for so many years. And it's like, how did he live that many lifetimes in one lifetime? And I think that's what we can learn. We all have the same amount of time. We may not have the same, amount of money, but here's the thing. He's been broken where he was living out of a car, but he said one thing, and I wrote this down, is we have the ability to create choice. And if we use that power quickly and decisively, we can change ourselves and anything around us like that.
Just like that.
Like that.
And I was privy to the I'm trying to think of what I can say legally. I was privy to the hostile takeover that happened recently in his life. I was privy to that. And I'll tell you what, held his head high. He had high energy. He had positive energy. And it's like, well, that sucks. Only he wouldn't have used the word sucks. That was unfortunate. So what am I going to do to be an influence and change the world now? And instead of wallowing in, oh my gosh, how could these people that I trusted come in and just do this hostile takeover? Instead of doing that, which a lot of you would have done, it was, well, that was unfortunate. So how do I move on? And without skipping a beat, he moved on. And
I'm going to add on to that. It reminds me, sometimes it's also the opposite way. We spend so much time in our thoughts to be perfect. We never just get out there and try. We want to make sure the light's right. We want to make sure the mic's right. We want to make sure it's the right guest. We want to make sure it's the right clothing. We do so much to be right. We actually also don't go anywhere as well. And it's one of the things that I thought of. Here is Dave. He's like, it's not about, I can feel him saying it's not about just being right. It's about being out there. It's about enjoying and living life and learning from life, giving back to life. And here he is with you. That to me is the power of great connections and friendships. He's at the hospital, but he's like, you know what, Karen, you are the best. I'm going to be on that show with you. If that doesn't tell you the quality of character, I don't know what does.
Well, anyone who's not had the opportunity to work with Dave, in any aspect, work with Dave. And if you've had the opportunity to work with Dave, well, enough said. Enough said. And Dave's he really is one of those remarkable people. And what you were saying about perfection, how many people have you met that has had paralysis through perfection?
Mm-hmm.
I call it perfection paralysis. They work so hard on making things perfect that it's actually a form of procrastination, which causes paralysis.
It really does. And what I'm finding in 3 shows on the seven-figure jump is, Jeff Peoples, Mark Walkers, and today with Dave VanHoose. What I'm seeing here is, these are men who live without limits. They don't look at things in the way that they can't do it, or they shouldn't do it, or they don't want to do it. They look at it as things that are like, what, I want to do that. I should do it. I'm going to do it. And it really is amazing when you see what they're doing. It all goes back to the same thought that we've talked for the same reason you and I met.
For a month or so, yeah.
We are the thinker of our thoughts, and our thoughts are either going to take us there or they're going to keep us here.
Yep. Well, and I have to point out, Mark, I've known forever, and I love Mark, and I do. I love Mark. We haven't had a guest I haven't adored. Jeff, brand new friend, but do you know where I met Jeff? The same event that Dave and I were at a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
I met Jeff, and you know what? Connections. Dave didn't introduce me to Jeff, but he did introduce me to an event where Jeff and others were at, where I could network, which, you're all about networking together, network together. I was able to network and meet some remarkable people that are changing the world. Now, everybody is changing the world. I just want to make that clear. Listen to me closely, folks. Everybody is changing the world. It's your choice if you want it to be a positive change or not a positive change. And, I pointed out often, if I can change one life for the better, I have changed hundreds of lives. Because if I change a husband or a wife, they're going to treat their spouse differently, which is going to change them. They're going to treat their children differently, which is going to change them. They're going to treat their friends differently. Their children will treat their friends differently. And their friends that are treated differently are going to treat their families differently. And it just ripples and ripples and ripples. And so ask yourself, what kind of example do I want to be? And, if you're not at a point where you can be a positive example, I am not telling you you're a horrible person. You're not. Right. I'm telling you there are people out there that can help you get to that point where your life is positive and you can be that positive influence and live your legacy now. And, this Marty gal, Robert, we got to talk about you getting up here. Marty, she's doing an event up here in Park City. The event's free. She's going to do a couple of different training sessions to teach people how to do their own energy work, and she's the master of energy work that leads to abundance. So anybody looking for abundance, she's the master of that, including health as well. But she's going to do some free sessions teaching people how to do that. And then those that want to work one-on-one with her, she'll be available for that, and really for a huge discounted price. But it's up in Park City, and you don't have to stay at the Westgate Hotel. You can stay anywhere you want. They're just going to be holding the event at the Westgate Hotel. And I'll tell you what, I've cleared my calendar. I'm going to be from the 13th to the 19th. She's got my full undivided attention, because when I went down to Vegas and spent time with her, my life changed immensely. And so I strongly encourage anyone and everyone. In fact, we've got her commercials at the beginning and here toward the end. But
yeah, and let's post some more information up there about her, and see if more people can come. And I am an advocate. We only have so much time. We can only make so much money. We can only do so many choices and changes. But what really accelerates anything for both, I really mean launches everything, is the amount of energy that we have to do all these things. Because, when you don't have energy, choices become harder. When you don't have energy, money becomes harder. And when you don't have energy, the first thing that you want to do is you want to stop learning, because learning takes quite a bit of energy. And that's what I found, from my kids going into homeschool, right? Because right now they're all being homeschooled, to the people I see out there. In the last 6 to 7 months, we've had to create such great changes. But one of the things that's happening is we've number one, we've lost focus, and we've lost the desire to learn along with the earning, because you have to have those two things hand in hand to really, accelerate. And again, with our 7-figure jump, they embrace 3 things already, how to earn, how to learn, and how to help others learn how to earn, by mentoring, by modeling and helping mentor others. Because they have a belief, the more that they give back, the more that they give, the more that they receive from the universe as well.
Oh, absolutely. And we talked about it, karma debt. And we all have energy, but it's that less than positive, less than the higher energy that holds us down. Yeah. And you want to cleanse your energy. You want to raise your energy. You want to and cleanse really is the best word. You want it to be pure. You want it to be pure positive energy. Because it's that pure positive energy that attracts abundance, be it in wealth, be it in health, be it in emotional status, be it in friendships and relationships.
Well, you said earlier, you said cleaning, cleaning emotion is clearing emotion. It doesn't mean getting rid of everything. You're cleaning out what you don't need, and it opens up room for what you do need. So I really loved what you said there.
Well, thank you very, very much. We, I guess, really don't need to do a commercial, because you and I have commercialed all the way through it. And I just took my screen blank. There we go. We've commercialed all the way through. But I want to remind everybody to see your show on Thursday. And that is at 2:30 Pacific time, 5:30 Eastern time. And it's going to be a phenomenal show. And to remind you all to come back and see our show here next Tuesday.
We have a surprised guest on the show, but we have our own Jay Tenenbaum. He is with REI. He's another real estate investor. We're going to learn from him. And coming on the show from Florida, we're going to have Brent Kessler with the Money Multiplier. He
awesome.
He is just an amazing wealth of information on how to be your own bank. And so, and then I have one more special guest coming that we're confirming, but we'll save that for Thursday. So come see us on the show in 2 days.
Hey, be on that show. That's going to be fabulous. All right. Well, and come and make sure you join us on this show again next Tuesday, and that is at 9:00 Pacific, noon Eastern. And I don't remember Greenwich Mean Time, but
it's always
10:00 Mountain Time. And, we'll be sure and see you next week.
Well, thank you for having me share the show with you. And let's end it with your beautiful outro and music.
All right. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you for joining the 7-Figure Jump, a production of the iNetrepreneur Radio Network with host Dr. Karen Perkins. Join Dr. Karen each week as she visits with new and exciting guests who inspire, teach, and mentor the secrets behind the 7-Figure Jump. Join us every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, and 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.